I should be streaming now. I should be streaming. I should be showing. Good. So today I'm just what the? Oh.
And now the adventures of Nick and Willikins.
This is England. Actually, that's a lie. We're really getting off on the wrong foot here. I don't want you thinking that I'm one of those unreliable narrators. No, this is not England at all. This is, in fact, a barely coherent caricature of England perpetrated by two men who have never even left North America. Consequently, the game you're about to play will almost certainly be riddled with inaccuracies, anachronisms, and bad accents. Like truly terrible accents you people don't even want to know. Anyway, they dragged me out of retirement to tell this story, and I'm not about to waste my extremely valuable time defending the ill-conceived choices of its writers. So, moving on. This is England, and this is the ancestral home of the wealthy and powerful Nick family, currently presided over by its last surviving male heir, young Nick of Nick Hall. Assisting Nick in the extremely complicated business of washing and dressing himself, along with the general maintenance of Nick Hall itself, we have this man. He answers to the name Willikins, but his young master has called him so many other things. Willikins is also one of the last of a dying breed, a breed of dedicated manservants tirelessly devoted to the well-being of their assigned charges, no matter the circumstances.
I cannot overstress the importance of following the instructions of one's master, no matter how seemingly misguided, unethical, or even mortally dangerous they might be. Ours is to serve, not to question. All of this being said, one does have some latitude when it comes to addressing one's betters. Traditionally, it is acceptable to adopt one of the three basic attitudes, as observed and practiced by the great Western powers of servitude. The first, and one to which I must admit a bit of bias, is the British method, which stresses politeness and civility. This method is kind without being overly familiar, good enough to sustain an empire of nearly 1,000 years, so certainly good enough for the likes of you. Second is the one preferred by our American brethren, the friendly approach, presenting the illusion of being the master's equal, despite the fact that you both clearly know which of you is the lord and which is the lorded. Finally, there's the aggressive method, typically employed by our old friends, the Germans. No great surprise there, while obviously not advocating outright hostility towards the master. It does emphasize the notion that even the most noble among us may, on occasion, require a bit of helpful prodding. Right, so, young Willikins, kindly choose one of these methods and demonstrate it to me and the rest of the class.
Oh, you'd like me to demonstrate, sir? Perhaps you'd prefer it if I taught this class so that you might excuse yourself to the pub.
The aggressive German method with an added twist of British sarcasm. Excellent work. Mr. Willikins, you'll make a fine manservant someday.
You should just know.
Willikins, you're the worst manservant what ever lived. Now stop daydreaming about your boring past and tend to my needs.
So begins another exhausting day for me here at Nick Hall.
Too right, Willikins. As per our usual routine, I have prepared an itinerary of daily activities for you.
Oh, good.
Could he just shut up?
Item 1. Much like the princess in that story about the wee-stained mattress, I have detected something amiss with my bed. Have a look under there, won't you?
Very good, sir. I hate this thing. It knows why.
I don't know why people hate.
So there is something under here. A charger for a mobile phone.
That's what we call
And
cellular
something
phones
more.
in England.
Rather.
Like magazines.
I'd be concerned about these if I thought Master Nick had even the remotest concept of what any of it actually meant. I'd be concerned about these if I thought Master Nick had even the remotest concept of what any of it actually meant. Step by step, heart to heart. Master Nick threw this and said, "Fetch, Willikins," but neither the dog nor I were sure which of us he meant, so it's remained under the bed ever since.
That's funny.
On loan to us from an old text adventure. I won't bother making a more specific reference as you're not likely to get it anyway. Master Nick refuses to acknowledge that he hid these here, which is just as well as I refuse to touch them, so we're at sort of a stalemate. The bedpost is the more traditional location for one's gum, but Master Nick has always been one to spit his gum in the face of convention. Also occasionally in my face.
Why carve his own name?
I'll just tidy this up then.
Adequate job, Willikins. 5 out of 10. Honestly, you must try harder.
Oh, must I?
Now then, item
I'm
the second.
hungry.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry, sir?
Hungry, with an H. Now, I know you have some food squirreled away on your person, and I demand that you feed it to me forthwith and hence. Here too. And such.
I'm not sure why I bother. He'll inevitably reject this and any subsequent offerings, no matter what they are. Sums up my existence rather neatly, I suppose. Pizza, hamburger, sir.
Cool, that old thing, you made me that yesterday. It's rubbish. Bung it down a loo.
Of course, sir. That'll be the first of,
I
no
will
doubt,
kill him.
many then. Discarding this uneaten pizza hamburger would be wrong, sir. It's a sin to waste food.
It's also a sin to defy your living God, whom for all intents and purposes is me, Nick.
I believe I missed that lesson at church, sir.
Well, if you don't jump to it and do what I said, I shall deliver an extremely painful and demeaning reminder. Oh, that sounds an awful lot like work. I'll probably just make you flog yourself.
I stand corrected, sir. That's an extremely godlike thing to say. There he is, the person to whom I have dedicated my entire working life. There appears to be some writing on that bottle, but I can't read it from here.
Cool, Willikins. Am I owed a tax incentive for employing an illiterate?
You've never paid a tax in your life, sir. In fact, I'm rather concerned that...
Nobody cares what you think, Willikins. You can't even read.
These were prescribed by Master Nick's personal psychiatrist, Dr. Gesund. The label details the type of medication, recommended dosage, and a contact number for the good doctor.
Why a phone box?
It's a rubbish bin.
Why?
Rubbish goes in here.
Why?
And yet you're not in it.
And they say we British don't take good care of our teeth.
I've never seen that object before in my life.
A sink.
It's a sink. Or basin?
Basin?
Blast, where's my English to American dictionary?
Just say sink then.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Padaloo.
Quadruple ply. We do live extravagantly. This is a device for cleaning French bums. It's criminally underused. Where there was one set of footprints, that's where I was carrying you. Inspiring. These are meant to say N plus S, meaning us. No, I don't get it either. Also, that's not actually what they say, so I suppose that's as close to resolved as we're likely to get round here. Oh, bother, the deer's run off.
Look at this.
That's Mr. Quacker's. He's mine, and I love him.
He loves crack.
Here in England, we refer to the esteemed gentleman as Master Bubble.
Nothing. He doesn't love anything. So not love crack.
No. Under the cotton ball in this bottle is another cotton ball.
It's cotton balls all the way down, Willikins.
Under the cotton ball in this bottle is another cotton ball.
It's cotton balls all the way down, Willikins.
Full of shredded newspaper.
That's my medically prescribed confetti. You leave that alone.
Yes, Master Nick requires medication to function. Unlike so many other things he says and does, there's no shame in this. This is a charger for a mobile phone. How it ended up under Master Nick's bed is anyone's guess. I have endeavored to anticipate Master Nick's needs by preparing this. One of his favorite dishes. He won't want it, of course. But one must go through the motions, mustn't one? With a pull of this chain, I can make nearly any unpleasant item disappear instantly.
If you were a real butler, you'd flush yourself.
I don't remember if
It's a rubbish bin. Rubbish goes in here.
And yet you're not in it.
Beat him.
Well, aren't I a hoopy frood?
What?
Now that important business is settled, I want you to go downstairs and prepare me some proper brekkie. You know what I like. I want you to take at least 2 seemingly incompatible food items and combine them in a new and interesting way. Or an old and boring way, what I've forgotten about. Go on, off you go.
Very good, sir.
Oh, and Willikins.
Sir?
Remember, it's Thursday, which means you may only prepare the items on my revised menu of foods what I will only eat on Thursdays. You will know these foods when you see them.
Right, that thing. Very, as I said once already, good, sir. You refuse to cram the last culinary atrocity I offered you into your ungrateful crumpet hole. Why should I believe the next one will pass your ever-elusive muster?
You must always have faith, Willikins.
Well, that doesn't sound right at all.
Like that fellow what sang that song with a camera pointed at his bum. George Maharis, I believe his name was. Now then, off you go.
George Clooney.
Master Nick's family sigil. Actually, it's a Z that I turned sideways. Don't tell anyone.
Your secret is safe with me.
As that goes. This. So it actually is a set. On the back is also in. Time to look at everything in this room.
Master Nick was rather proud that he could locate his own ear, so we marked the occasion with a statue. This one is New Lefty. No, I don't get it either. What, are you expecting it to sing a little song? This isn't France. I do hope we've been very clear on that point. You may think pulling this opens a secret passage or something, but it really just holds candles. Somewhat surprisingly, the musculature of this statue is in no way exaggerated.
Where?
This one is Old Lefty.
New Lefty. Sometimes actually right. And left sometimes Old Lefty. Good to know. Oh, by the way, time to.
Don't know why that dog's so unhappy. It makes more in a year than I do.
It makes more in a year than I do.
Oddly, the puppet's lips never moved, but Master Nick's did.
It's usually on the opposite.
There was once a descriptive audio service that accompanied this painting, filling the hall with a constant ear-piercing howling. Somehow it became disengaged. Who knows how these things happen?
Pop art.
Master Nick modeled for this one by pressing his face against the screen door. This was identical to the bust over there, but we left it on the dash of the car on a hot day. This was identical to the bust over there, but we left it on the dash of the car on a hot day.
Bust? Does he mean the other sculpture?
This used to open,
Yes,
revealing a
bust.
button that did nothing. Mercifully, it's since been sealed shut.
Now it's time for this.
We had to pay that tiger 60 quid to lie down and pose for that. It's a door. We don't have a special word for door here. It's the same as your American doors.
I'm not American, I'm Danish. But it's
This
still
isn't a
doesn't
painting.
at all.
It's a plant.
Eyes of the wilder.
Now, why on earth would I want to do that? Don't know why that dog's so unhappy. It makes more in a year than I do.
Because he doesn't make any money.
I believe this one is called The Unicorn is in Captivity and Wishes It Was Still Dead.
It's fun to know.
Exquisite.
Oi, Willikins, prepare my food and bring it to me at once.
I am duty-bound to attend to Master Nick before I dare attend to any other person, place, or thing.
God damn it. His food contains of this. Take that.
Master Nick's Thursday menu does indeed allow for this particular ingredient.
Wet toast. But I'm gonna take this also, just because I can.
These were not here an hour ago, and I know for a fact that Master Nick has not left his bedroom since then. He must have some sort of hidden dumbwaiter or something. Master Nick's Thursday menu does indeed allow for this particular ingredient.
There's one thing you're never gonna ask. Where is all that? I don't know. Who? Wine cellar. No.
Master Nick believes this is my favorite toy, but it doesn't even squeak.
What?
I should really get up there with a broom, but I keep hoping a life-saving message might appear in it one day. Stuck away in storage when Master Nick couldn't work out how to type with them on.
Bunch of things. Potatoes.
It appears to be something hidden just beneath this top layer of potatoes. Master Nick has rather cleverly hidden his cold, soggy chips under these raw potatoes. Well, you can't deny there's a certain logic to that. Master Nick's Thursday menu does indeed allow for this particular ingredient. Dry. Good. Good.
Dry good.
Well, now I've got a haddock.
Herbs.
The H is most decidedly not silent.
Herbs. Just because you can get herbies.
Most everything I know how to prepare involves the use of a knife. And since our only working knife is in the kitchen, I must logically go there to perform this task, ipso facto.
It makes sense. Fish and chips.
Is there a more quintessentially British dish than fish and chips? I hope not. A Master Nick will surely demand that next. I've already prepared a breakfast course for Master Nick. Mustn't waste food. Until he orders me to bung it down the loo, that is.
Why does it look like a painting? I'd rather not look outside. I have already played some of this game, so yeah. Good to know.
He named the dog Willikins, which I was sure would cause confusion.
Not for me, it doesn't.
That settles that, then. Absolutely not. I don't know where this mangy thing has been. Or, more precisely, I know exactly where it's been.
Positively revolting. Honestly, Willikins, I don't know what you think you're bloody doing in that kitchen.